Drive-by movies. Welcome to the movie, guys. My name is Blaise.
And I am James.
And this week we're talking about what isn't currently a movie, but should be the next big franchise. Anyways, I'm going to get right into it. Last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, I talked about, children's books. We're going into the nostalgia train, but what would be more nostalgic than a popular children's book? And honestly, what would be more popular than a children's book that started a phenomenon about the loss of consciousness in the American society? The Berenstain Bears.
Oh, snap.
And I forget what the exact paradox was called, but anyways, like, people have always known that in my childhood, I always thought it was the Berenstain Bears.
That's what I thought it was too.
And I think that mainly stems from the authors of the book being Jewish. So even though it's spelled Stain, their last name was Berenstain. So I think even though it's like spelled Berenstain, it's pronounced Bernstein.
Yeah.
Or just like slowly went that way. And then we kind of imagined that it was spelled Bernstein, maybe because we liked Frankenstein. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like other things that might have led to, all of society believing that it was spelled Bernstein. Or even pronounced Bernstein. So anyways, the Berenstain Bears is a very popular children's book. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. I watched a couple episodes because there was a KPBS TV.
Which I loved.
I never actually watched that. I never even knew that show exists, I don't think. It must have been around the time of Arthur, I'm assuming.
Yeah, early 2000s, I think late 90s. And animation was pretty good also for a PBS show.
Nice. So I enjoyed watching it. I like that the bears are called, Mama, Papa, brother and sister. I like that they didn't have names, like it was kind of cool. But anyways, I come up with an ingenious idea on how to make the Berenstain Bears relevant again. And a lot of it stems from that paradox of like people thinking that their name was another thing versus not. And I know people would go see it just for like how popular that whole like paradox is, and just the fact of like everyone remembers the Berenstain Bears. And I want to make a movie that's, nostalgic, but also something that's really relevant today and like fun family movie, similar to like Paddington, of course, because we got bears in there. So
I felt like you were going to go another bear route with corduroy or something. Yeah.
Oh, that was on my list, but then
really?
I forgot. What's beyond a corduroy than just the fact that he loses his button?
Yeah.
Right? Like he's just looking for that button.
Yeah.
Right?
He loses at every book, I think. Yeah.
And basically, if I pitch corduroy, it's literally just, I want to make Paddington with a bear that loses his button.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like his button comes out of the book, and then he comes out of the book to find the button.
Yeah.
That would essentially be my corduroy movie.
Yeah.
So
I feel like bears right now are like the new, just like penguins or something. You remember how penguins are like a fad where we had like 3 different penguin movies?
Is it just you though, or is it other people also like bears?
No, I mean, I'm the only one I really like right now.
You watched a lot
Paddington.
of Joe Rogan Experience?
Have you ever been around a bear, like when a bear's walking through the woods?
No, not really.
They don't make any noise.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And his obsession with bears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like bears are that culturally relevant right
just
now.
with Winnie the Pooh coming out.
I
and
guess
then,
so, yeah. What do you think about the Winnie the Pooh show? Off topic, but I'm just curious.
It looks cute.
You're not head over heels because you're like, I only got one bear in this heart.
Everyone's saying that they're crying over the show. I'm like, no, it actually looks cute. I'm sure they're going to go right for the feels like Disney always does. But
I don't like the palette. I think that's it. Like I always remember Winnie the Pooh being very colorful, and I know they're going for that like, takes place in England, and like it's a very dark, gloomy like palette. And I mean, I don't like that like world look on like England and London specifically. Like it's always just a very dark palette.
Well, Zack Snyder directed it. Are you not aware of this?
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. You got me there. I don't know. Oh no, the director's Finding Neverland.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Which was a very bright movie.
Well, when they go to like the Neverland, when they have those like
true.
dreams in Neverland. I don't remember the movie that well, but when they're in like the not in Neverland, right? I don't even remember if they do go to Neverland. Does he have like a head wound or something?
I don't remember it too well, but I remember like whenever he's like thinking up the story or telling the story of Peter Pan. Yeah.
Anyways, Berenstain Bears. So I've thought about the story, and I want it to be about Stanley and Janice Berenstain. They were the 2 authors, the creators of the Berenstain Bears. And I'm just going to alternate saying Berenstain and Bernstein, so just fill it in the blanks because it's still in my head. I don't even know which one it is. I mean, I know it's Berenstain, but it's like deep into my childhood consciousness. It's Bernstein, you know? So anyways, yeah, they've created the Berenstain Bears, and little do we know that the Berenstain Bears are real.
Yeah.
Like they are a real family of bears that exists and somehow maybe doesn't age, or this is like the offspring of them. They still exist out there. Stanley and Janice have since passed away. They're in real life they passed away, and their son is like taking on writing about the bears and like essentially kept that alive. But anyways, they had changed the name, like even though it's spelt Berenstain, like people know it Bernstein. So like essentially they had like planted in the world's consciousness of like how we pronounce it. But little do we know, because we pronounce it wrong, we don't actually see these bears as like talking bears. We just see them as regular bears. So they are out in the woods somewhere, like a real bear family.
Yeah.
But like they're like, we'll talk to people, but people just don't even know that they're talking. They just see like the bears like making bear noises.
Yeah.
But if people know like they're real, if people know how to pronounce their name and like they can talk to the bears and the bears can talk to them, you can understand like bear essentially. So the issue is that like Stanley and Janice, they wanted to protect the bears from like humanity, so they kind of like basically tricked everyone into saying that their name differently than it would be, so that you wouldn't be able to actually communicate with these bears. So the bears know like this, and they're like, oh, we're done hiding. We want to go out and we want to show like, we want to show America a good time again.
Yeah.
Like we want people to believe in us, and we want to make people happy again, because we're tired like living our kind of solitary bear lives, because it's very quiet, and now they're kind of bored and they want something new. So they want it like it was back in the day when they first had their books and everyone knew who they were, but people have since forgotten about them. So like, where do we got to go? We got to go to Hollywood. We got to get our name out there so people can know that there's like this family of bears that just can make everyone happy. Everyone is going to love them, you know? So essentially they get to Hollywood, like, but people are just like tripped out, like, oh, there's bears, you know. It could be like funny, like Paddington, where it's like a fish out of water story, but then also they like can't find anyone that will take them seriously. Like there are people that know how to pronounce their name, because so they are able to talk to some people, but no one can take them seriously because like, it's a bear. Like what the heck? Like what, people aren't gonna like a show about bears or a movie about bears. Like what do you guys? Are you guys even do anything? Like do you do tricks? Like what do you do? Like like what's going on here? So anyways, the only person that believes in them, none other than Morgan Spurlock.
I think I'm gonna have to go supersize.
And he's gonna make and he's gonna make a documentary about the bears. And like they're like essentially they were hoping for like a narrative film, but all the producers are like, you guys don't have any talents. Like you guys are just talentless bears. Okay, you could talk, that's cool, but this is like, people need more than that nowadays. Like in the 50s, a talking bear was all the rage. People loved it. But nowadays, people need more. So they want to create like a reality show at first, but then Morgan Spurlock wants to tell the story of how the bears can change this country and make it great again.
Right, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. That's a horrible slogan. But anyways, like basically he wants the bears to be like the limelight, so people have something to like look at, like something that makes them happy. And nothing makes anyone happier than a talking, you know, laughing, smiling bear who's so cute, like brother, sister, mama, and papa. We need them back in the limelight. So hopefully Morgan Spurlock can make like this documentary explaining what happened with the bears, how they kind of went into hiding and were protected, and like how they're coming back out to, you know, hopefully make everyone happy again. So that's essentially the story that I came up with. I thought it would be funny to throw in. I was like, who would be a great filmmaker to tell their story? I was thinking, okay, let's do a documentary, because then this could have like the film within a film, essentially. I thought Morgan Spurlock is like a relatively well-known.
Everyone recognizes him from Super Size Me, essentially.
Yeah, and he makes like funny documentaries. Or we could do Louis Theroux. Yeah, but it might be too obscure for an American audience.
Might be funny with Michael Mann also, or not Michael.
I was
Mann,
thinking Michael Moore too. That was another one that I was thinking, but it's not political enough. Yeah. You don't have to make the film like super political, where like the forest that they live in is getting destroyed and they want people to help. So you could go that route as well. So that's kind of the story that I came up with.
So you're a producer on it that like has the story very developed.
And I just thought of it like 20 minutes ago. So,
nice.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's kind of like, I definitely knew where I wanted to go with it. And like I always love movies that have a movie within it, or like they're following a movie. Like what was that one? Like Paper Hearts. Like that was kind of a fun little like cute.
Right, yeah.
I like it like that, where it's like a documentary inside this movie. Like you're following the filmmakers making the film, but maybe that comes in like halfway through.
Yeah.
Or you could start the documentary, I guess, before. Like maybe the first 30 minutes is like Morgan Spurlock telling the history of like these bears and how they've like been protected by the authors who they told stories. Like maybe the authors were like scared in the woods and like lost their way, and the bears took them in and told them these bedtime stories, and then they translated the bedtime stories for everyone in these picture books. So it could be like a really cool story, and I think that it would be a great thing to bring these, to take something that like everyone knows the Berenstain Bears. Even more people know like this whole like crazy name paradox with them that made them like, oh man, like wait, really, that's their name? Like everyone was like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like it became like a stoner thing, like to like, oh man, I smoked so much I forgot the Berenstain Bears name, bro.
Yeah.
So this could be really funny, and I just think it would be like an awesome thing to bring back, and I think it could be really financially successful and also make a really fun, interesting family film.
Right.
So
yeah, I'd love it. Yeah.
That's about it. I say go check out the Berenstain Bears. If you didn't know, it's actually the Berenstain Bears. Did I just blow your mind? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the movie this week. Tune in next week for next week's movie.